So by the end of this video, you're going to have a clear idea of what alternate picking is and a clear idea of how to practice it, a very basic way and a few basic exercises on how to practice alternate picking. So first of all, what is alternate picking? So alternate picking is when you pick down and up, not only down. Previously, we've practiced things that are picking down. But alternate picking requires you to pick consecutively or consistently down and up. Like that. So, why is this useful? Well, there's times when, if you're picking down, it can only go so fast. For example, you can only reach a certain speed, which is, sometimes speed is desirable in certain styles of music. But if we pick up and down, we can do it a bit faster. Also, it allows you to navigate across strings much easier. This is a more difficult technique when it's played across strings. So that is me picking down, down, up, down, up, down, up through the strings. And it's also just more economical. It requires, in a way, I wouldn't say less motion because it requires us to go up and down, but by being a repetitive motion, it's something that the wrist gets used to and doesn't fatigue itself as much. So, with that in mind, let's talk about how we do it. We start from the wrist. Let's start on the E string and just pick down. Now, immediately after picking down, we're going to pick up. Notice my wrist, my arm is completely relaxed while doing this, and the movement comes from my wrist. Similar to the way that I've explained strumming, being as if I'm waving at my guitar, like this. Hi guitar, hey. The same thing with my picking. It's all coming from the wrist. Strumming and picking. So, down on the E string, up on the E string, from the wrist. Just very small motions, no tension in the wrist or the arm whatsoever. Now the motion of going down will feel natural, but going up won't feel natural yet. So the goal is to practice this until it feels natural and becomes second nature. From the wrist. These are eighth notes, so we're going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now the goal isn't speed. The goal isn't to be able to go like that. The goal is stamina. So we start by doing it very slowly and trying to do it for extended periods of time. Another key piece of information that is very useful to know is that my pick is not completely parallel and flat with the string. If I do this flat, if I pick flat to the string, more tension. There's more tension and my pick gets stuck. So I actually angle my pick slightly down towards the floor, as if it's in a 45-degree motion. I do this by letting my wrist drop naturally. As you can see, if I hold my wrist parallel and just let it drop naturally, it's already in the correct position. So that's the technique when it comes to alternate picking. I just have to stress and have to emphasize that playing from the elbow, whilst you see a lot of people doing it, is really not a good idea. Eventually you're going to generate far too much tension in your elbow, and you're going to get tennis ball elbow or tennis elbow, and it's just going to completely lock up. The same with your arm and your shoulder. That's why no tension is in my upper body whatsoever when I play guitar. Even if I'm playing things that are fast, which is what alternate picking is often used for. No tension in my body, all comes from the wrist, and that comes from having practiced it slowly. So, my recommendation is that you take a look at the exercises in this lesson, in this assignment, and practice them. Practice the most basic exercise, which is consistently alternate picking on each of the open strings. First E, then A, then D, G, B, and finally the high E from the wrist. Now, it will feel slightly differently on each of the strings, so I'd recommend practicing them as carefully and as slowly as possible. Playing slow equals speed eventually, but playing slow equals stamina, and playing slowly equals great technique. And key ability to play dynamically later on too. So, there's a wide range of uses for alternate picking. This is just the first step into it, and then eventually we get used to applying this to scales, which we'll do later on. To arpeggios later on, when you choose to learn arpeggios later on from different shapes on the guitar. And for playing guitar solos as well later on. So, have fun with that, take a look at the exercises, and until next time, keep practicing.